All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to my Q&A channel, TMossBoss Q&A. And in today's video, I wanted to answer this Reddit question. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment them down below. But anyways, why does memory get worse as we age? And if I had to say, because when you sit down and think about it, right? Back when you were, let's just say, elementary, you didn't really have that much, to remember, I guess. Like you was born some years before, I guess you got into like, yeah, so like five, it's like, yeah, you don't really have that much to remember and things. But there are those like key things that's happening in your early stage of your life where it's like, okay, I'm gonna remember this, I'm gonna remember that, all these other different things. But as you go along, it's not like your brain just blacks out on you, throughout your life, so you can remember those key things. As you get older, just like how you was making memories as you were a kid, it's gonna be the same thing, in your adult years. So there's things that I remember that's a little bit more memorable from, when I was a kid and stuff. They was like, because they was like, can't remember elementary school anymore. Like there's some things that I do remember from elementary, but then it's like I'm not remembering everything that I need to remember from elementary. So I just feel like there was just, yeah, some things that just really wasn't all that interesting. And then yeah, also on top of that, like if you are cool with people from elementary, then they'll probably be remembering stuff that in there, just like I guess for you, like there's things that was memorable for you. Then yeah, for whoever it is that you cool with or you still talk to this day, then yeah, then they'll remember things. Because I feel like there's friends of mine that I was cool with back in elementary, where if I were to bring something up to them, they're most likely not going to remember that because they're in the same boat as the positivity. That's a good name. But anyways, no, yeah, I'm like, I guarantee and I promise you, if you go up to any of your friends that you was cool with in elementary, if there's a key thing that you remember, but you think that they won't remember, maybe they do, maybe they might remember it, then that means, yeah, their memory isn't failing them. It's not getting worse. But I just feel like at the same time, it's like if somebody has, because I would say for me, it's like I wouldn't say I had like the most exciting life, like, oh, it was like I had all these different crazy things happening left and right. No, for the most part, I had to say that, things had happened to where it's like that's going to have more of an effect on my memory than, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something from, yeah, well, that's the thing. I'm like, I don't remember those things because, yeah, it wasn't memorable. So I don't think it has anything to do with your memory or anything's getting worse. I just think that, yeah, there's things that happened in your life to where it had a little bit more of an impact than something did when you was a kid and stuff. So, but anyways, yeah, it's like that's one thing I think that I guess, like, if you are worried if your memory is failing you, get a journal, write down some stuff. It's like, just, yeah, just get, some journals, or even if you have a computer, just type up, yeah, have like a digital journal and stuff. It's like we all go into digital media and stuff, for the PlayStation users out there, if you know what I'm talking about. But anyways, but yeah, overall though, it's like, write that stuff down, whatever it is that you do want to remember, that if you're afraid of forgetting about, when like, yeah, let's say you get into your middle age and stuff, 50, 60 years old, and then it's like, dang, man, there's things that I don't remember from, yeah, because probably once when you get up to that point, there's gonna be things from elementary that you used to think about all the time that you probably gonna be all like, dang, I haven't, thought about that for a minute. Or it's like, whatever it is, it's just, yeah, it's gonna fail you and stuff. But, and I know it's gonna be kind of silly referencing this movie, but I feel like that movie, it really kind of helps you understand your brain a little bit better. But there's a Disney movie called Inside Out, and I remember watching that movie just kind of curious to see what the movie was about. But I'm like, dang, obviously they ain't got, like, no amusement parks scattered all around your head. And then it's like, but there were some things in there where it was like kind of like how, like, forgotten memories and stuff. And then yeah, it was because they made it seem like it was like a pit. And then but yeah, it was like where all the, like, forgotten memories was at. And yeah, and then there was like the imaginary friend or some stuff like that. I don't know what it was, but anyways, it was a good movie. It was one of those movies where I'm all like, I can understand some things now about my brain. So I'm like, I feel like, yeah, that's a movie where it's like you need to learn a little bit more about how the brain functions, but not in a scientific way. Like you could at least be entertained by it. Yeah, you know, Disney, they provided that with that movie Inside Out. But anyway, I feel like they come out with a part two of that movie. I never did see part two. Hold on for a second. Let me Inside Out two. They did. They did. They came out with it a couple of years ago. Huh. There was like possible sequel, but there was all like Inside Out 3. Yeah, I gotta watch that movie because I'm like, I never did watch part two. But anyways, but yeah, with that being said, talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and peace.